Okay, friends, the District of Columbia is been taken over in 1982. What happened is District of Columbia, means it's a crown corporation. It's the United States. There's a difference. United States is the corporation, the business. Okay? It's the codes, the statutes that don't apply to living men and women because it's only a business head. Okay? They came over here and rented DC and set up business. We hired them, the United States of America, we, the people, hired them and went into contract with them. They swore an oath to protect our property, our persons, our things, in exchange for allowing them to set up house on our land. Okay, so that was the business arrangement many years ago, over 100 years ago. Now, what happened is they're only supposed to operate and have authority in that 10-mile square of Washington, D.C. on that land. But guess what they've done? They have deceived, they have frauded, they have maniacally taken over our country. And you know how they did it? They did it through language fraud. They began using terms, interchanging terms like United States and United States of America just became less and less utilized and less heard in the media, the mockingbird media. So now what you have is you have a United States business, the corporations that have gone mad, literally, through greed and fraud. Because the Crown Corporation that belonged to the Queen, well, the Queen died, right? Now it's the King of England. Well, the King of England has his contract with, guess who? The Vatican. So it's the Vatican, it's the King of England, the Crown Corporation, and the federal government. Who's the federal government? The federal government is only a part of the U.S. business class. They want you to believe that they run the whole United States of America. No, they don't. They are only, the federal government is run by the international banks, organized crime, the bankers, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, you name them, the list goes on and on. So all those institutions, and although they are geographically completely not even on our land, what we have is we have the Crown Corporation that which is the King of England, who deals with the administrative part of the government, and then you have the military arm of their government, the U.S. corporation, is run out of D.C., District of Columbia. Now, if it's only supposed to be on that 10 miles, it begs the question, why are police officers, policy enforcers, that are supposed to protect our interests of we the people, why are they roaming about on our land all through the several states which belong to the United States of America, we the people? Why are they roaming around on our land in their suits without their oaths? That's right, they haven't had them for years. No bond. That's right, they haven't had it for years. And with no Foreign Corporate Registration Act as amended, 1938. And why aren't they on their person is no anti-bribery statement. I'll tell you why. Because if you ask for all those things and they do not give them to you immediately out of their pocket, they are not working for the people. That's how you know they are working. They have signed their nationality over. They have given up their nationality to the United States. They've become foreign, corporate agents of a business. And according to the real law, not codes, statutes, and acts that Congress enacts, those are for businesses only, the U.S. business. Did you know that? Yeah. So when a police officer pulls you over on the side of the road and wants to know where your license is, guess what? You don't need a license to operate your automobile. They're using word trickery, fraud, and deceit. A driver's license is a contract with the Department of Motor Vehicles if you are operating a motor vehicle, which by definition is for profit. Yeah. If you're working on the highways, then you must have a license according to their rules and statutes and codes. But those only apply to the business class. And they didn't tell you that you don't belong in the business class. When you go into the DMV to get your driver's license, they are laughing all the way to the bank, because as soon as you get that license, you are going into contract with them and you're admitting through acquiescence that you are a citizen of the U.S. corporation, which means you belong to the Crown Corporation, the King of England, and it means that you have allegiance to the Vatican. I like to call it the Vatican because it needs a big flush. Yeah. So this is all done through fraud, trickery, and deceit. They don't tell you that. See, they don't tell you that the Vatican comes, they through the hospitals, they even set up, the corporation even set up their doctors and nurses on our land and in what we think they're our hospitals. No, they're not. No, those are foreign corporate agents. They've signed their nationality over, and their allegiance goes to the Crown and the Vatican and to Washington, D.C., and to the military arm of a corporate for-profit business. And according to law, as soon as governments decided to become businesses and incorporate, they have to abide by the same rules. That means anytime they trick you or fraud you, the contract is null and void. So at any time you can opt out and say, I expatriate from the U.S. corporate government. See, you didn't know that you were born into that slave system. As soon as your mom handed you over, they didn't tell us. How are we supposed to know? As soon as your mom handed you over in the hospital, the Vatican got the soles of your feet. They believe that they are your spiritual masters, and they are nothing but Luciferians. That's right. So they're your souls. See, there's two of everything. There's a soul and a soul. And there's more than two of everything, and a soul and a soul. SOLE. They've got your souls of your feet in their catacombs, their death cult, and they give homage and collect money on you and open up funds that you're traded on the New York Stock Exchange as chattel. You are their slave. They believe they own you. You're the Holy See. And then the King Charles, which was his vampire mother, the queen reptile, she gets all the colonization. What is a colony? Colonies are not people. Colonies are insects. But that's what our land has become. The Crown Corporation came over here and colonized, and they are not done colonizing. And did you know that in 1982, they made one big conglomerate, bold move, and they declared Washington, D.C., their empire. That's right. Oh, it gets really good. It's their empire, and you're going to find that information in a book called Empire of the City. That's what they have become, a city state of District of Columbia. They've set up all of their statues. Did you know that their statues, their idols that they worship, That's their statutes. Yeah. Oh, it gets real deep. But the London's inner city is the economic arm. The District of Columbia is the military arm. The Vatican believes they're the spiritual arm. They have their own constitution, their own flag, their own laws. They run under what's called Lex Fori. That's a Roman law, people. Rome didn't fall. Rome is alive and well. They just shape-shifted on us. Okay? They have their own flag. They have their own independent constitution, and it has nothing to do with you. And or as far as nothing in favor for you, it is slavery. It's called personage. It's paper slavery. On paper, they get your acquiescence, and then they have every right to your soul, to your sweat equity, to your physical body, and everything else. So look up Kelo versus London 2005, and then Lex Fori is the law of the corporate empire, which means choice of law. See, you kind of wonder why when you go into a court, you don't know what jurisdiction you're under, because they can choose anything they want. They own you lock, stock, and barrel unless you expatriate and tell them and send them letters and notices repeatedly that you do not belong to them. Then unless you do that and know how to do it, you belong to them. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, but the city-states of London, the Vatican, and the District of Columbia are all one interlocking empire called Empire of the City since, guess when? 1982. Bam! So you wonder why it's been a slow crawl of us losing our rights over time, because we were not told all of this. And again, I cannot emphasize this enough. Fraud, it's all fraud. One of the great maxims of law is fraud vitiates all contracts expressed and or implied. So anytime there's fraud, the whole shooting match is void on its face. They are operating with military gang-style takeover on our land, and it is one word. I got one word for you, United States of America: treason. Peace to all the saints. We're exposing the unfruitful works of darkness. Glory to God. Peace to all the saints.